Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Clarity training webinar. Today is Tuesday, November 9th, 2021, and I'm Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at Clarity Today, our topic is End User Setup and Personalization. This webinar is designed for those of you that are end users, not admin users in ClaritySoft. Many of our webinars are geared towards the admin user who has the rights to go in and customize and make changes to the database structure. This webinar is geared strictly for the end user, so to teach you what changes you can make to help personalize the database to fit you as you work in it. So that's our concentration today. The topics we'll cover, we're going to look at the My Settings options. When you go to the Settings menu, you will see a My Settings group. And inside that My Settings group, there are different options that you have control over and can set that help personalize things for you. We will also talk about the home page. It's possible when you log in, you land on the home page, which is completely blank when you log in. So I want to teach you how to set that up for yourself so that you can see either the key indicators or the chart indicators that will help you as you work in the database. The other customization that you can do in the database is display what columns you want in each module, your data columns. When you first log in, the accounts module only shows you the account name, the company phone, the website, and the owner, which isn't terribly helpful if you have additional custom fields and you would like to see those. So we'll review how to go over and change those and set that up, and also set up the default sorting that you want in your module. And every module has the same column settings feature, so you can go to each module and configure your columns to best fit you. The other thing that you can do in the accounts and contacts modules are configure the tab settings. When you open an account record or a contact record, there are tabs that contain the data that's connected to the account or the contact, and you can turn on the tabs that you want to see and remove the tabs from view that you don't wish to see. Also, going along with those different tabs, there are sub-tab settings for the columns under the tabs themselves. So we will talk about that. And then another way to use your database is creating what we call views or filters, or what they are. And when you create a filter, you may save it so that you can use it again and again and not have to recreate it every time you want to see a specific list of your accounts or contacts. For example, you may want to see all of your current customers. And so you can filter for that list of customers and then save that as customer list. And then you can just pick from a drop-down and run that filter or that view anytime you like. So we're going to cover a lot of different things that hopefully will help make you more efficient in using Clarity CRM every day. So let me go to my database. Here we are. So we're in accounts, and we are looking at what we call the list view. And so I think I'm going to start here with the column settings, because that'll feed into some things later. So as I said, you may only see these when you first log in, unless your admin user has set up for you to see certain columns, okay? But even if your admin user has set up certain columns, you should be able to customize these even further for yourself. In order to do that, you come up here to the upper right and click on this 3 stacked dots or vertical ellipsis button. And when you click on it, you will see column settings. Then you'll get a window that displays on the left all of the different data fields that are in the account record. And you can scroll down there in alphabetical order. And when you go down through them, you can then say, well, I would like to see account type, and then you can drag it over and push it wherever you want it to go. Wherever that blue box is, that's where it will drop in position, and then you can put it anywhere you want. So if I come down here further, I have an industry type that I want to bring over because I may want to group my things by industry. I have a last touch date, which could be interesting because it will allow you to see the last time that you did a completed activity with that account. So again, you know your data better and can pick and choose what things you would like to see. I also have a territory field here, so I'm going to pull that over. So you drag over the fields that you wish to see. Anything on this side that you don't want to see, you drag to the left and just simply drop it. It will put itself away in alphabetical order later, once you close the window, so you don't need to worry about it. Just drop it anywhere. And then down at the bottom, you're picking how do you want your list to sort. It's defaulting to account by the account name or the company name, but you could sort it by industry type, territory, whatever you feel is important to you. So you just choose the field that you wish to sort by. And then the last option here is the results per page. It defaults to 20. You can set it to 50 or 100. I usually like to set it to 100. So for filtering purposes, if I get 75 records as a result or something like that, I can scroll the whole window and see them all at one time. And then I forgot to mention on the sorting, you can sort in ascending A to Z order or descending Z to A. Descending could be for a date column if you sort on a date column, and then you'd see newest to oldest. Okay, so you can change that. Then you click apply and your columns will now be set up for you. These columns do not affect any other user. It's only for yourself, and they will stay this way until you change them. Okay. And then you can go to the other modules and do the same thing. If you go to contacts, you'll see the same vertical ellipsis button up here and go to column settings. So that's how you do that. And every module has the same vertical ellipsis button. Okay. Then the tab settings are inside of the record. So if I open a record here, you have the different tabs. And for each tab, there's data underneath it. So your details tab is where all your data fields about the record are. Then contacts contains the people associated with the account, okay? And your open activities have your activities that are scheduled. Your closed activities have your activities that are completed or done. For those of you that have enhanced activities, you will see just an activities tab and it will look different than this, but that's okay. Email campaigns, you won't necessarily see this tab if you do not have the marketing module. So don't worry about this if you don't see it. And then opportunities. So on and so forth, you go across and all your tabs are showing the data associated with this account, okay? If there is a dark blue line above the tab, that means there is at least one record. So you can see all of these have a dark blue line, except when we get over here to support projects and attachments. That means there are no support tickets. Okay, and if I click there, we see nothing. All right, so that's your cue, your visual cue that there's something under a tab if it has that dark line above it. If I go back to, if I say I don't ever use support or my company is not using the support module, I can choose to remove this from view. So what I do is just cancel out of here and go back to my list view, go back to the same vertical ellipsis button, click on tab settings, And then you will see on the left side all of the tabs that I'm not looking at currently. And some of these are custom modules, so you won't see these anyway. And then on the right are the ones that we were just looking at. So if I decide, well, I don't need support, I'm going to drag it and drop it. And we aren't using projects, so I'm going to drag it and drop it. And then when I click apply, and actually what I'm going to do here, well, it doesn't matter. I'll go back into my record. And now you can see I no longer see support and projects here. So they're not visible to me, which is fine because I'm not using them. So again, it's just a way for you to sort of control the quote clutter of modules you're not using and don't need to see. You can remove them from your view. If you decide you need them later, you simply go back and drag them back over to the right, and then they will reappear. A little comment here, sometimes depending on your screen resolution that you have set, you might have enough tabs going across here that if you have too many, it will say more over here, ... And then when you click on it, you'll see the additional tabs. So just watch for that. It depends on, how your screen resolution is set and how much it can display across the screen. All right. Then what I wanted to do, the sub tabs, this is something kind of new, that when you click on a tab, the columns that are down here are now controllable by you, okay? So when you're on a tab, you come over here and click this little gear shape button, and you get the same type of window again, where you're going to get all of your data fields that are in the contact record in this case, and you can then drag over which data fields you wish to see. Now, I've already dragged over the state field and the communications custom field that I have for what communications to send to a person. I could probably bring over, well, let's see what else we've got here. Maybe contact role. Maybe I want that. And then down here again, you can sort by the contact name, or you can sort by some other column if you want. And then the results per page here, it probably doesn't matter whether you show 20, 50, or 100. Depends on your database and how many records you might have in there, how many contacts per account. But you can still set it. So now I can see I have the state, I have communications, and I have a contact role, which doesn't appear to have any data in it. So this isn't very useful. But I can pull it over. And again, this is just for you and your database, okay? So let's see, we should have maybe industry type. I'll pull that over. So I can see they're in the hospitality industry. So it's just a way under this sub-tab to see data columns that are more useful to you than what maybe ClaritySoft decides are useful. And that's available under all of the sub-tabs. You go each sub-tab, you've got the little gear, and you set up what you want. So for example, in opportunities, you can choose what fields you want here by clicking on this button. So some more settings for you to do. All right. All right. So we've done that. Now let's go actually to the My Settings under the Settings menu. And up here, you have a gear shape button. And when you click on it, you will see the Settings menu. Now, if you've been in any other webinars where we're doing things that an admin user can do, you'll know that there's a whole bunch more options over here than what we're seeing currently. So as just an end user, not a non-admin end user, you don't have all those options available to you. So what we're concentrating on today are the ones that you can change. So I'm going to go through in a little bit of order of, let's say, ease first, or less simplicity, I'd say. We'll start with the simplest ones first and then go to the more complex ones. When you first go to my settings, it's going to default to highlighting my preferences on the left. And then on the right-hand side, you can see all the different preferences that you get to set, that you have control over, okay? The first one is your time zone. Most likely this is correct because when you were added as a user to the database, your admin person set you in the correct time zone. But if you need or want to change it, you can do that. And you'll notice there is not a drop down here, but the way you do this is you'd select, and if I needed to change myself to Central Time, I just start typing it. And you can see that as I'm typing, the list is bringing up everything with the word Central, and then I see Central Standard Time, and then I just click it. So basically, this kind of drop-down search list pulls up as soon as you start typing in it, and then it has all the time zones around the entire world. So if I go back to Eastern, I can type it and choose Eastern Standard Time, okay? Then your date format, this is for you to choose which date format you prefer. There's a global date format that would be the default for the database. But if you don't like that format, you want to change it for yourself, then your dates will display in whatever format you select here. So our pretty much the standard one here in the United States is month, day, year. But if you prefer year, month, day, or day, month, year, you can switch it, okay? Possibly you might be in Canada, and usually in Canada, they're day, month, year a lot of times. Or you can do the year, month, day, whatever you prefer, you set, and then your dates will display in that format that you've selected. The next thing is the default calendar view. Your Clarity Soft calendar defaults to the day view, but you can change it to week, month, or agenda. I tend to like it on the week view, so I can see a full week at a time. And then the default module, this is for when you log into Clarity Soft. What module do you wish to land in when you log in? Okay. You can land in any module. And some people like to go directly to the activities module, and then they can see their to-do list for the day. Some people work mostly in contacts or projects or support, and so they would like to land in that module when they log in. So you pick which module you prefer, and then when you log in, it will go to that module directly, and you won't have to click to get there. Then you can click to get anywhere else. I'm going to leave mine set. Well, no, I'm going to change mine to opportunities, because when I'm logging in, that's what I want to work in. I'm working on my sales opportunities. So we'll see that when we log in again. This default board view, this is for in the opportunities module, your admin user needs to set up what are called pipeline boards. And once those are created, then you can pick which pipeline board is the default one. You'll have access to all of these, but you may say, well, I want to always have it default to that one when I switch to the board view. So I don't have to do 2 clicks, I just do 1, okay? Outlook Contact Sync is yes or no. Most likely this is going to be no, because this does not work unless you install the original Outlook plugin. And most people don't use that. So I wouldn't even worry about this at all. Record conversion, this is an option where you can say open or do not open. If you change it to open, then what will happen when you convert an opportunity to a quote, Clarity Soft will do the conversion of the opportunity and immediately open the new quote record for you. Instead of doing the opportunity conversion and leaving you sitting in opportunities, then you have to click on quotes and then find the quote. So it saves you several clicks. It just immediately goes to that new quote record. If that's what your process is, you convert the opportunity, and the next thing you want to do is go to the quote record and add the information that needs to be added there, then setting it to open is probably what you would like to have. If you don't like it, come back in and change it to do not open. So it's up to you what you do. Then lead conversion opportunity, this is a yes or no. It defaults to no. And what this is for, when you convert a lead to create a new account and contact, there's a little checkbox in the conversion window to say create opportunity. If you leave this at no, the checkbox will not be checked. You have to manually check it. If you say yes, because the reason you're converting a lead all the time is that you want to create an opportunity, again, it saves you a click. It will automatically put the check in the checkbox and create the opportunity. So it's just something to save you some additional clicks when you're moving from place to place. And then the products and services tab, you know that the products and services tab is in opportunities, quotes, and sales. And it's a tab that when you click on it, then you can see your list of product items and add them there. If you're not adding a whole lot of product items or you don't have a whole lot of, say, custom fields on your details screen for your opportunity or your quote, you can say, show this in the details tab. And then the products and services list will actually display on the details part of the screen at the bottom and show you your items right there. So you don't have to click on the tab. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen. So you may want to try this to see if that visually just makes it easier for you. And then this line item sort is going to sort either by the item number or by the order in which you select the items. We had a few people that needed this selection order in order to make what they were doing work, especially for going over to quotes and things. So you have the option here. So this would go by the item number or by the selection order. So once you've set all your preferences, you click apply and that will save them. And then the next time you log out and log in, they will be applied. Okay. So that's first one. The second one here is my information. This field, set of fields here is important to fill in because they then will feed into when you go to do a quote from Clarity Soft. When you first open the quote template window, it has all this information there, okay? If you fill it in here, then it auto-populates over there and you're done. If you didn't fill it in here, then you can fill it in that quote window and it will remember it and it will back populate to here. But if you do it here first, then you're good. And then so it will go into the quote. And then that data can feed into data fields that are in the quote template, also in an invoice template in the sales module. So just, if you fill it here, you're good to go, and then click save and it saves it. Okay. All right, then navigation menu. I'm going to skip export options here for a second. Navigation menu. In your navigation menu on the left, you have the different modules. Now, it's very possible if we go back out here, let me go back out here. I have a whole lot of different modules. These down here are all custom modules. These two, I can see support, issue, and project. You may not see all these modules in your database because you're not using them. They have not been turned on for you, which is absolutely fine, okay? But if you do see a lot of modules and you don't really work in half of these, then what you have the option to do in your settings is you can say, okay, I don't use support and I don't use issue. And I'm going to throw this one over there just for the heck of it right now. I don't use these custom modules. And I don't need to see, this is another custom module of mine. But, and then maybe you don't use marketing at all either. I mean, if you have marketing, you won't even see that if you don't have it. So, but these are kind of the basic ones. And maybe, there could be you don't use sales or quotes. It just depends. But what you do here is you move these over to what's called the auxiliary menu. And what happens is now, when I go back, oh, I need to log out. Okay. So you can see now my menu, my navigation menu over here is shorter. And at the bottom, I have this more button. So when I click on it, it expands to show me these different modules that I moved. And then when I go to the bottom here, I can click less, which will collapse them back up. So it's just a way to maybe clean this up over here to show you only the modules you work with. They're there if you need them with a click, but most of the time you're not looking at so many. So that's part of it. The other thing you can do with the navigation menu is you can change the order of the modules. For example, maybe I already moved leads up to the top. So leads module is down in here somewhere for you. So you can click on it and then you can move it up or down to the position where you want it. Okay. So you may want it above accounts because leads are first, then accounts and contacts, opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. Perhaps for whatever reason, you might want your activities at the top of the list. Again, you decide what you want. It's your control. Okay. Maybe I want projects up here rather than underneath all the report stuff. I want it after sales. So I can change the order. And then when I click apply, and probably have to log out again. Yep. It will then put things in the order in which I have said I want them. And again, you are not affecting any other user in the system. Oops. Okay, so that put activities at the top. I'm landing in opportunities, notice, because I said in my preferences, that's what I wanted. So, and if I pop open my calendar over here, it's in week view, but I can change it to month, day, or day. Okay. So, but my default is week view, which is what I want. Okay. Then we go back and let's see here. The next thing here is themes. These are different color schemes. So for some people, this is very important because they like different colors. For other people, they say, oh, who cares? But anyway, we have some nice color schemes now that you can try. If you're tired of the normal Clarity blue, you can change it to whatever color you want. If you like mint chocolate chip ice cream, this one is nice, makes you hungry because it looks like the mint chocolate ice cream. So you can change your theme depending on what your mood is for the day. You can go to your settings and change your theme to what you want. This one's kind of nice too. So that's there. Okay. So yeah, like I said, some people consider that super important and other people don't care. But what would be nice if you have some corporate colors, you could perhaps change your Clarity Soft to match your corporate colors, which is kind of cool. All right. And then another one that can be important is under here, you can change your password. If you decide you don't like your current password, then you can come here, type in your current password, type the new one that you want, confirm it, and then click change. Down here will be a list of rules of what you must follow. Right now in my database, the only thing I have to do is to have 5 characters. There's no other requirement. But your admin person may have set it where you have to use 8 or 10 characters. You might have to have an uppercase and a lowercase and symbols and numbers. So you will have to follow the rules that are here. And as you type your password, these things will become a little check to say, oh, you did that, oh, you did that, oh, you did that. So you can do that. Now, if you completely forget your password, then there is, when you go to log in, a forgot password that you can click on to get an email to be able to change it, or you can talk to your admin person who can come in, change your password to something temporary, then you can go in and go here and change it to what you want. So the multiple ways to do that. Audit log. This is something that you should see. It's possible you may not, but what this is used for is to tell you, well, what have you done when you've logged in? Okay. So right now for my current session, I have changed the theme twice and I've logged in. Okay. So I can go back a couple of weeks and see everything that I've logged in here for. So you can see sub-tab customization. Where this can be helpful is if you did something and you want to undo it, especially if you deleted a record, you should be able to come here and reinstall or reinstate that record. If you're a little bit nervous about doing that, then what you want to do is call our tech support team and they will definitely help you do that. But it's just a nice way to know what you've done in here so far. And this is what I've done today because I've logged out a couple of times. That's why the current session was short. So you can see everything I've done so far today. And it's nice to have. It sometimes can help you. All right, so now back to export options. One of the things that you can do in Clarity Soft, which you can't always do in other CRM databases, is you can select records and export them out to Excel. We give you that capability. Anytime you want to export, you may do that. Your data is your data, and we never hold it back from you. And you can do it from any module. Now, it is possible that your admin person has turned that functionality off for you. So you'll find out. For example, if I wanted to go to my accounts module and I wanted to export my accounts. Now I could do this a couple of ways. I could do all of them, or I could say, well, I want only those people that are food and beverage people. Their industry type is food and beverage, which I have 12. Okay. Because maybe I want to take the list and, I don't know, use it as a call list or something. People want to export for various reasons. So what I would do is I would click here to select my records, and then under the actions menu is export to Excel. If you don't see export to Excel here, then that functionality has been turned off by your admin person. So you can talk with them if you need to do that. But when I choose this, it'll ask me to do all the records marked as checked, which I only have 12, so that's fine. Or if I have a large batch that's greater than 100, then I would want to do all filtered records. And then this is what appears. over here on the right are the data fields that are going to export. Over here on the left are all the data fields that I can select, okay? So, and the first time you do this, this will be empty over here, and you have to drag things across. Well, once you've dragged them over here, ClaritySoft does remember them. So then if you wanted to add something else in here on your next export, you can just come in here and drag it over. Okay, so if I wanted to do that, I can pull it over and it will update this, and then I just click apply to export it. Now, the other way, before you come here and set it up, that you can do is you can go into your settings here and go to export options. Then here you click and choose what module you want to set up. So if I did accounts, you'll see those data fields already here, okay? And then I can set this up where, I don't know, I'm just gonna pull some things over here. I wanna see the creation date. I wanna see the last edit date, you know. You decide what you want to see. Maybe if you're trying to export your data, you want all your data fields over there so you can drag them all over, okay? Unfortunately, you do have to do them one at a time. There isn't a way to kick them all over at once. But once you do that, you scroll to the bottom here, and then you can click the Save button. Wait a minute, I need to back down on my window a bit here. There it is, save successfully up at the top. So that's there. So that means that what changes I made here, when I go back to my accounts module and I do an export to Excel, this list will be there for the data fields. And then you can set one up for contacts, and you can set, you know, whoops, did I go to contacts? So right here, you can see there are very few for contacts, so I can drag them over and save it, and then I have it. So it's just a way for you to maybe save some time, and then your exports are set up if you're doing them regularly. Sometimes people might be exporting things from the sales module or the quotes module to take somewhere, maybe into an accounting system or something. So that is there, and you can, each user can set that up. All right, so we've done all the, let's say, quote, easy ones. Now, let's get to the ones that are not necessarily hard, but are very important to set up in your system. When you're using ClaritySoft, one of the things that you are able to do is email out of ClaritySoft. So a very important thing to set up are your email settings, okay? Now, it is very possible that your admin user set this up for you, because the admin user has the ability to do that, to set up these settings. And then the only thing you have to do is add your password and test it. So it's possible it's already done, and all is good. If you're in a situation, and I know I have a few people like this, where their email password needs to change every month or couple of months, you're going to have to remember when that changes to come into ClaritySoft here and go here and change your password to the new email password, click apply to save it, and then test it to make sure it's working. So that would be one thing that you would need to do for this, okay? So you want to make sure your email settings are here, and then you apply, and then you save and test, and it should say it connected successfully. If it says it failed, then there's something in here that it doesn't like. It could be, you know, the name of the server, it could be your password. So you might have to check with your admin person, your IT person, and or get some help from our tech support team. but this definitely, you want to set up so that you can send emails out of ClaritySoft. These would be your outgoing Outlook settings, or if you're with Gmail, whatever you're with, you pick and then you put in your settings for it. Okay, so that is there. Most of the time, if you're on Outlook with Exchange Server, this setting right here, the outlook.office365.com, these settings are fine. And then you just need to put in your email password. I'd say those work probably 90% of the time, maybe higher. So you can try that. So that's your first step there. And then you do need to log out and log back in order for those to register and take effect. The second thing you want to do is you want to create your email signature. Okay. And so that when you're sending an email from ClaritySoft, you have your signature in it. And you can see here, I have multiple signatures that I have created through various webinars and stuff. And so to create your signature, you come over here and click the add button, and then you give it a name. I'm just going to do 11. Oh. And I'll know what this one is. So you would probably put your first name and signature or something like that. Then you can create the signature in here, or you can go to your Outlook. And what I usually do, because I never can remember where the signature thing is on the menus, I just open a new email and then I can get to the signature thing there. So I'll show you what I'm doing. I opened a new email and then you do include signature signatures. Then it opens this window for me. So I can then take and select all this. And I'm doing Control C to copy. And then here in the window, I do Control V to paste. Now, my text comes across, but then you're going to say, well, shoot, none of the graphics came over. Well, they did, but what we have to do is we have to upload them to the server. So what you do is if you double click on the image, it opens this image properties window. Then the location of the graphic is right here. This is the path name to it because I have no idea where it's stored on my computer. I'm going to right click on this and copy it. Then I click on the upload tab and I need to get the file. So I'm going to click on choose file, which basically opens my Windows Explorer, Windows Explorer. And then I click in the file name and do Control V to paste that path and click open. The file now is here and I send it to the server. As soon as I send it to the server, it takes me back to this first tab and it shows me the graphic. Now, ignore all this text. This is just printing text. It's not going to show up. Over here, you have your image size. And then what I have found out is you don't want to change the size of this because Outlook messes up. So you want to leave it as it is. If you change it, then Outlook won't display it properly. So just go ahead and click OK. And now your image is there. Now, another thing I've noticed occurring is I'm getting these lines around here. I'm not sure they show up in the email, but they show up here. So I'm not sure what that is. That's just happening. So what I would need to do then, all these social media graphics, I would need to do the same thing, double click, right click, copy, go to upload, click choose file, right click, paste, or do Control V, open, and then send it to the server. There it is. Click OK. And you just work your way across all of these. I won't do them all. Now this thing down here, I could maybe do, oops, just so you see how that works. And then, okay, so that one brings that one in. And that one doesn't have that box around it. So anyway, I would either finish these or save time. I'm just going to delete these. Okay, I'm even going to delete this one. I don't care. So that's there, and I've got my signature. Then if you wanted to, this comes in as just a sort of a plain font. If you want to change your font to Calibri and a point size, maybe you want to make that bigger, whatever you want to do to match the font that, was in your Outlook signature. Once you have it all set, down at the bottom here, you're going to click in the default checkbox and then click Save. So you now have your signature there. And then because I set my email settings, let's say, and now I have my signature, I'm going to log out and log back in. Okay. Now I can email from within the database. So I can email in an opportunity record, a contact record, wherever I want to go, and I can email. So for example, if I have this opportunity here, up at the top, there's an email and it will send it to the contact. Okay, it'll be from you. Those are your email settings. From you to the person, and then you can type, I'll just say checking in. I can come down here and I can type, hi, Megan. So I can manually type an email, whatever I want, put my name in and send it. Okay, and notice my signature is here with all the graphics. It automatically appears because I made it the default. Down at the bottom here, you have the ability to say no signature, or if you have more than one signature, you can pick which one you want. Here's the one I just created and bring it in. So if you set it as the default, it will automatically show up. And then if you decide you don't want it for whatever reason, then you can turn it off. Okay. Also, while you're in here, before you send something, this is your attachments. So you can click on this and go find a file and attach it. Some people don't realize that's there. And then you can see you can insert a template. So that's the next thing we want to do, is learn how to create a template, because you personally can create your own templates. So let me go back to settings. And now we're going to go to email templates. So you can see I have a whole bunch of templates here. You can create templates and save them, and then you can use them at any time. So let me see what I've got here. So here's one. I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to do this so I don't have to type and bore you to death with my terrible typing. So if I want to create a new template, I click on the add button and then I give it a name. So I would say this is welcome new my database is a bit schizophrenic in that it's a coffee customer, it's widgets, it's all kinds of stuff. Okay. And then you would type in the subject line for that. And you could say, welcome to, I don't remember. Okay. Oops. All right. I put that in the wrong spot. Okay. So you put your subject line in, and then you would come down here and you would type your text. Now I'm going to paste this, and then I'm going to do something here. So I'm typing hello, and then you could put a comma or just a space. And what I want to do with this template is I want that every time I send this template, it individually addresses itself to the right person. Okay. So what you can do is you slide up here and there's a little green arrow on the toolbar that's insert fields. And you click on it and you'll get a list of the data fields that you can pull into the email. So in this case, I probably would want to pull in first name. Now, if you have also in your database, which I usually caution my people that I work with to do, if you have filled in the salutation field, which can contain either the person's just normal first name that they use, or you've put in a nickname or some other way of addressing the person, then you can use the salutation field. But I'll use the first name field here. And then that inserts that in there. Now notice that the font is a little bit smaller. So right now, this is Verdana 12. I would want to select my text here for this and choose, it looks like it's Verdana, but I'm going to force it. So it should come in the right way. And just to make sure. And then notice I also am pulling in their account name. We'd like to welcome you and your company team as a new customer. Okay. So I better change this to best coffees ever, huh? Okay. So you save this and then you've got it. Now you can, I put kind of a signature in here, but I may not want that. It just depends, you know, on what you're doing. So I'll leave this for now. So you type your text, you can insert images, you can do all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of formatting here that you can do. You can put hyperlinks in here that jump them to your web page, whatever, you know, whatever you want to do. Here's a link and do the formatting. Once you've got it all nice the way you want, you save it. Okay. Oops, I must already have the same. Okay. And so it gets added to your templates. Now, the one thing you can do with your templates is you can share them with other people if you're good at creating these. So, and you feel like you want to share them. So here's this, I can click here and do share it. And then I can share with any specific user I want to share it with because I know that person can use it, or I can share it with all users. So you decide. All right, now how do I use a template? Let me go back and let's go to an account. And let's say they're a new customer. So I'm going to open, whoops, I want to go to a contact, sorry. And this guy's the person I worked with, let's say. So I can email him. Now, a couple of ways I can email him. Whoops, he doesn't have an email address, so I can't email him. So here's Cindy. Let's use Cindy. So I could click on Cindy's email address here. I could click over here and say email contact, or if I open the record, I could click on the email icon. It doesn't matter to ClaritySoft. you'll get the same thing. So there's my signature. Everything's there. It's to Cindy. I click on insert template, and then I find my template that I just created here. Best ever. Now, when you're clicking on the template, you don't want to click on this name link. You click on the icon itself. Otherwise, you end up on a web page. So there it is. Okay. And it's all addressed to Cindy because it's going to pull in her first name. I come down, I click send. That email goes off to Cindy, and she receives it, says, hello, Cindy. We would like to welcome you, and her company name in there. So it's a quick way to do that, and use that because you can create those templates yourself. You don't have to wait for someone else to do it. All right, got to move along here. We got 5 minutes left. Last thing is creating views. In your ClaritySoft, let me see, I'm in contacts. I'm going to go to my column settings. And let's say I want to see industry type. And I already have a communications thing here. I also have a territory field. So put these all together. Oops. Okay. And then click apply. So I can now see in my contacts the industry type for the contacts, what territory they're in. It should feed into the record from the account if you have the same field in both modules. So let's say I want to search for everybody that's in food and beverage. Okay. So I go here to my Spyglass, advanced search, and I go to the industry type field, and I go down and find food and beverage and click in it and then search. Now I could find, all the food and beverage in certain territory or state or wherever. I'm just, for simple purposes, doing a quick search. So I have these people. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to save this because I do this search often and I don't want to have to recreate it. So right here, I can click on search options, save view. I'll do it this way, F and B list, because I think I probably already have food and beverage. So I've got that. I click save. Oh, I can't use ampersand. See, you guys learn from me because I make mistakes. You use a hyphen. Okay, so now this is up here under this drop down. I can go to all contacts and get all 244, or I can immediately go to my food and beverage list and get those. I can switch. These are all other ones that I have saved. Okay. And all I have to do is go to it and it pulls it up. So this is really nice to be able to do. And sometimes the end user doesn't really learn how to create these things. So I wanted it as part of this webinar. So I have my food and beverage list. What can I do with this? I can come over here, select these guys, go here, go to email contacts, records marked as checked. I have my list. I can go up here to template. And I'll just pick a template. This is a holiday one for coming up. Choose that, okay? And has the subject line, has the text of the email, bingo, click send, and I now have sent to 8 selected people that email. That was like less than 10 seconds. So those are the kinds of things that you can do once you create those views or those filters and save them. It's very easy to pull up a list and then do something with it, like send an email out. Okay, so that is that. I think we've covered all the topics I wanted to cover. Go back to my PowerPoint. And first of all, thanks for attending today. Hopefully you learned some things as an end user that you do have some control in your Clarity Soft and can make it work for you. If you need any help, then if you're still in Quick Start with either myself, Linda, or Mike, you can contact one of us and we will definitely help you. Or if you're not in Quick Start and you have questions, you can contact our support team at any time at 888-838-7487, extension 2, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can email them at support@claritysoft.com any time of the day or night. And then if you have any cool ideas for new topics, we're starting to come up on the new year and trying to think of new things to do. Also give us feedback on what we're doing with these webinars, how we can improve them. Please send that to info@claritysoft.com. And with that, I will let you go and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.